Hello and welcome to the Gamers.
Good evening!
We're discussing our impressions and overall thoughts
Yes.
of Mortal Kombat X.
X stands for 10. And just generally, we're going to go to kind of just general points of this game
Gameplay,
and
graphics.
what we think about it. So, I think we should start out, number one, I think we should start out with the modes available on MKX. Because that, for me, is its most impressive feature.
Yeah.
Unlike any other fighting game out there, this game has the most modes you could even possibly imagine.
And worthy modes as well.
Yeah.
Not just like, let's break a car.
Let's break some barrels. Double thumbs up. I think we start out with story. Story is probably about 2.5 hours long, which doesn't sound great, but when you consider the rest of the modes, which we'll go into, it's actually pretty good.
And it's a proper story.
Yeah. There is an actual story. The characters are cool. You get to play as different characters. It's well written. It's well animated. So it's just a really nice story.
Definitely.
Then we have what is basically just the arcade mode, which is called Towers. So you have the traditional tower, which is what you'd have in any of the MK. You'd have 10 opponents, you get to the top, and then you get a nice little cutscene at the end describing how your character did afterwards. You then have what are
called different variations of towers.
Oh yeah, of course. Then you got Test Your Might.
Test Your Might, Test Your Luck.
Which is the old school mash the buttons and break the object.
Survivor.
Yeah, so Test Your Luck, which is you have different modifiers, which could be the gravity changes, you do more damage.
One hit KOs.
One hit KOs.
All the screen turns upside down.
Trust me,
inverted controls.
There's so many we can't even begin to tell you how many. Let's Test Your Luck. We then have
Survivor,
which is your health carries on round after round.
Endless. I think that's the 5. And then you've got living towers, which are like online ones. You can challenge each other,
which is incredible.
Any more? And then there's there's living towers.
Yeah.
And then there's tower challenges.
Then we've got the practice mode, which obviously is just standard, but still it's another feature.
But then within that, you've got fatality practicing.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't just got training mode. You've actually got practicing fatalities, which is cool.
And then a tutorial mode.
Yeah. That was the only thing for me that was lacking, was the fact that it's kind of like, here's a tutorial, right now, go off and go.
Yeah, the tutorial wasn't the most in-depth.
I would have liked this is the only thing that was missing for me. The only mode that was missing for me was a combo trials.
Yeah. So I would agree with that, because comboing, I think we'll get into this in a bit more detail in a second, but comboing for us non-native MK players is a bit, not difficult, it's just a bit alien.
Yeah, because at first we were like, I've done 10-hit combos,
yeah, and then we realised, it's like 5% damage.
And then you're getting juggled by scorpions online.
Like, it's like 50% damage.
Yep, I'm still getting juggled.
So I think modes-wise, that's it for the kind of offline. And then online, you've got all the same modes again. So we've got living towers, you've got online practice, you've got rank match, which is player versus player.
So rank match.
Yeah.
Player match.
Yeah.
King of the Hill.
Yeah.
There's tower battles, which actually rather than me going on and doing a tower and then sending it to Simon, it's actually going against like a lobby of 5 other people.
Yeah,
they're all going through the same tower at the same time, and it's like you see your score there and there.
Yeah. You've got a team battle. You've got 3-on-3 and 5-on-5, I believe.
God, there's so much.
Honestly, just the modes on this game are, for me personally, what make it the best game. You can go on, spend an hour on story, then spend an hour online, then spend an hour on towers, then spend an hour on this.
Training.
There's about Crypt. The Crypt is nuts, and for those who don't know, the Crypt is where you unlock costumes, concept art.
But it's not literally like, oh, okay, what about you're actually walking around this Crypt area.
It's a first-person view of actually it's quite a large area, a few puzzles. And again, just another fantastic mode they've just thrown in. Honestly, the game, for modes-wise, is without doubt the best fighting game of all time, and all the other games need to learn from it, because my brain. There's also the faction tower and the faction battles.
Invasions.
Yeah.
Invasion battles. Invasion bosses. We won't talk about that.
No. So mode-wise, we're going all day, but we won't. Just needless to say, our impression of the amount of stuff you can do in MKX is just ridiculously good and so vast.
Okay, so that was the modes. Now I think the next things to talk about are graphics and gameplay.
And gameplay, yeah. So I think graphically, I think we can just say it's just incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
it's the fact that it runs so smoothly with everything
60 FPS.
Yeah, those backgrounds are lush.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I lose. I'm just like,
So that's your favourite thing, isn't it? Oh, the actual stages.
Yeah, the Cove. The Cove is another one. That's one of my favourites.
Deadwoods.
Deadwoods.
Infected Deadwoods is also really nice.
That's the thing. I wouldn't say it's a bad stage.
No, without
looks wise, it's not a bad stage.
No. So you say graphics as well?
Graphics and gameplay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now we get onto the gameplay. It's just super smooth, isn't it? There's absolutely no problem with it at all.
It's got the perfect amount of things that are easy to pick up, mixed with harder things. And the fact that it was like us, yeah. I mean, I know you can just do like down back or back forward or things like. But the fact that it has the option to have Street Fighter motions for us to make it simple. Like I have a full half circle for like Cassie Cages.
Yeah.
Or half circle back or Hadouken motion. You know, and even though that's harder, it's what I'm used to. So that allowed me to actually pick up the game.
Yeah.
So I think if I'd kind of gone in and been like, oh, I've got to play it Mortal Kombat style, I'd been like, I'll give it a go, Sam, but I don't know what I'm thinking to this.
Cause it's nice that MK actually have opened up their minds and said, we know a lot of people play Street Fighter and are used to that gameplay style, so what we'll do is we'll just put it in. You know, they're not ignorant enough to say, oh no, we'll just make them play MK style. No, they're actually open enough to say, yeah, we'll let you play the game the way you want to play it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think now
Characters.
we should get on to what you're probably all waiting for, is what we think of the characters.
I think there's a really good selection of different characters, different styles, different approaches.
Oh yeah.
And
they all play the MK way.
Yeah, they all play the MK way, and I love some of the character models. Cassie Cage.
Yeah, say Cassie Cage is. Well, I just think it's such an adult, grown-up game. You've got all the classic characters returning. You've got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya. You've got Jax.
And I think with the characters, the fatalities for the characters are so perfectly.
Oh yeah, everything fits the character. Yeah.
Come Johnny. Right, so I've mentioned Cassie Cage.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so we'll tell people who originally you were using and why you've changed and. You know, etc.
Yes, I mean, I picked Raiden first of all just because I know he's the goodie, you know, he's the kind of big, badass Thunder God. You know, he had a really, really cool play style, you know, obviously being the Thunder God. But actually, I will say that this is one of the only things I'd say which maybe makes MKX, or MK in general, hard to play, is when you have a character like Raiden, which I know isn't the most complicated or not the most technical character. For me, he felt complicated. He just had so many moves to kind of contemplate, which is why I changed to the Quan Chi, who is the complete opposite of Raiden. He's just evil to the core.
But also, the fact that there's a Quan Chi, what I've noticed is there's not a lot of Quan Chi players, so I think that's kind of cool, because always if you're a character that's not used a lot, you do have a slight advantage for the first few months.
Yeah, because people have no idea what's going on. Yeah. But the reason why I like Quan Chi personally was he was a zoner, which is not usually my kind of playstyle, but he has a simplified move list.
Yes.
So when there's a punish to do, you've only really got like 2 or 3 options.
Yeah, it's already like muscle memory, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Apart from Devore, he's probably got one of the smallest.
So, you know, when it's a punish, I know exactly what I need to do, I know exactly how it's going to finish, I know what to do in the corner. Whereas with Raiden, I was like, well, I could do this then to this, or I could do that to that. And then there's like so many different normal variations, and it's just kind of like, no, I just can't. my brain can't handle it all.
Too many things to think about.
So I mean, for you, for Cassie Cage, is it kind of a similar thing, or?
Well, yeah, because I started off as Reptile, because that was the same thing as Sam. I was like, okay, I want to be one of the original ones, and it wasn't really about good and bad to me. I was just like, I just remember playing on the old one. I was like, I don't want to be Sub-Zero and Scorpion that everyone else is. I've got something a bit different. Exactly how I was a Street Fighter. I don't want to be Ryu or Ken. I've got someone who's still really famous, Guile, but you know. So then I went as Reptile. It was just a bit, you know, lethargic and like, even though it was cool. And then I went as Cassie Cage, and she just had that flair about her.
Yeah, she definitely is one of the flair kind of characters.
She just looks stylish. She looks cool. So it was the appeal of how she looked, and then. Unlike Simon, I think he wanted to go for a more simple style, a zone style. I actually have gone for a total. But then saying that, you've gone for a totally different way than what you play Street Fighter. You've gone for zoning.
Yeah.
I am a zoner and defensive player in Street Fighter, and I've gone for a rush down style.
Fall down, rush down. Yeah.
We've always been reversed. But that kind of shows you that it's good because it makes you play a different way with a different engine, and we're still loving it. Yeah. And we're clearly not the only ones, because the FGC.
Have all agreed that it is an incredible game. I mean, for instance, I don't know if anyone knows, but there's a tournament called East Coast Throwdown, and they're making MK their #1 game. I think that we probably should just dip into any negatives we have. I know it's not great to end on negatives.
I would have
word negatives.
I'd have 2 negatives.
Spill the beans, man.
Online. Not modes.
No.
But how long does it take to get a fight? And the matchmaking, pairing off with people is poor at best.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to pair off with someone on your skill level, it's poor.
Yeah.
You've seen, I get paid off with 0 and 0, or like 460 wins to 1 loss.
Yeah, so it definitely can be, it seems random as to who you're going to get paired off against.
And then the other one is, at the minute,
I think we should say this is probably a time-specific thing.
Yeah, at the minute, it seems that 90% of players online don't even know there's a block button. Because all they do is mash moves. Yeah. And if you're consistently trying to be, what's the best word to say this? Smart, you seem to lose. It's like, no, you have to be as stubborn as they are.
Yeah.
And like, you have to do the simplest punish. And I think I'm just going to put this out as the last thing for me. Is, for example, I know Garu's going to wake up with
half circle, forward
circle punches. And the only thing at the minute online.
Yeah, because online frames change.
The only thing that can push that at the minute online is a grab with Cassie Cage, or her like square. And my combo is the same amount on hit as what his did on chip.
Yeah. So the only thing I will add to that is that MK seems to be about frame advantage gaming. Like, for instance, they even show you on the move page, you've got block advantage and you've got all this startup frames and stuff. So it's even telling you, for instance, I know with Quan Chi, one of my favourite combos in Warlock is forward triangle, square, triangle, which is 2-1, 2-2. Now I think on block, if you have the whole lot, I think it's like minus 23 or something. So obviously that gives almost any character in the entire game a free combo.
Yeah.
But obviously then that's up to me to know, right, I can't do that combo, so I've got this combo instead. But the only issue is, some moves just seem to be almost like positive on block.
Oh, definitely. And online, it's just like...
Which then can... that's the issue. So even if it's 0 frames, so even if both players are at a nice even spacing, one hasn't got the advantage. But then online, if you've got 2 frame or like 3 frame lag and you're trying to press square, your fastest move, that makes him +3 because yours is going to come out 3 frames later. Yeah. So that's the only issue.
That's it really is just that online lag we're kind of saying.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I said time specific is because at the minute we don't know what to do. In the future, once Goro's done his half circle, forward circle, and then he thinks he's at an advantage and presses crouching triangle, then you get to punish. Yes. Or then I think you'll know Goro will grab, so you tech grab. After a while, we'll get to know what to do.
Yeah, and it's because it's not just Goro, it's like Liu Kang having
bicycle kicks,
circle, 4-hit combo that does like more damage than what some skillful combos do. Yeah. But anyway, there's only a few negatives.
Yeah, I think that's the negative.
Positive.
The overwhelming positive is that it's a beautiful game, runs super smooth.
I never thought the word. I mean, you're right. Yeah. I never thought the word beautiful and Mortal Kombat X would go together.
No, I'll say it's gory. And the fact that it is just a fantastic game. I would advise anybody in the FTC who has any issues about MK, just go out and try it, because it really is incredible.
You can't be as bad as Matt Ross. We love you, Mike. We love you.
So sorry. but shots fired. Alright then, guys. Those are our impressions on MK.
What do you guys think?
What do you guys think of the game?
Do you agree? Do you
write in the comment as below.
Yes.
Alright then, guys. See you later.
Bye.